Hello, friends. This is Molly with Soul School Tarot Astrology, and I'm here with you guys today for your astro forecast for the Virgo full moon and the period that follows. So, this is March 9th through the 23rd of 2020. I'm so glad you guys are here with me today. If you're new to the channel and Astro Forecast is just where I sit down and I talk to you about what's going on with the planets for the next 2 weeks. So I get these out every new moon and full moon along with my collective readings for the various zodiac signs. So a lot of times, sometimes we'll just focus on the full moon or the new moon and the energy surrounding that. And I'm going to do that a little bit right now, of course, at the beginning. But I have to tell you, we have so much else going on in the chart. This lunation period, which is just what I call that 2-week period of time. It's a fortnight, if you will, 14 days. Okay. So in the next fortnight, we're going to have a lot of stuff going on with Mars, which is preparing to move into its sign of Aries. Mars actually rules Aries. And then we also have a lot of stuff going on with Venus and Lilith. So we're talking about the energies that represent the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now, when I talk about this, these are energies that exist within each and every one of us. All right. And the way in which we interact with other people in our relationships is often defined by which one of those energies we feel strongest in us. And for many, it's a balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies. Okay. So when I talk about those energies and the way that they're going to be playing out in the next couple of weeks, please understand that the masculine and the feminine are within you, but it can also represent those energies within relationships. And that the term feminine does not have to be attached to somebody who identifies as a female or is, biologically or at birth ascribed that gender. Okay. So remove gender from it. And just think about those. Mars is an assertive energy. That's what masculinity is about. Whereas femininity is a receptive energy. And that's not as disempowering as it can seem. It's not as disempowering as society has wanted us to believe for a very long time. So anyways, I'll get into those energies. But I'm actually going to start by talking about the gender neutral counterpart to Mars and Venus, okay? Mars and Venus are both interpersonal planets, but there's a third interpersonal planet, Mercury, all right? And Mercury is a little bit of a shapeshifter energy, so I just kind of call it the gender fluid or the gender neutral planet, all right? Mercury has to do with our thoughts. It has to do with communication. A lot of times it's the information and data that gets sent through our technology, and that's why we get technology goofs when Mercury is in retrograde. And Mercury has been in retrograde, now, for about the past 3 weeks, okay? So we're focusing, I've got in front of me right now a chart of the moment of when the moon is full exactly, which is going to be, I believe, 1:40, about 1:40, maybe Eastern Standard Time, okay? So in the afternoon on the 9th of March, okay? So this is the chart of the moment that I'm looking at, and then I'm going to be talking about how things are moving forward. Well, the good news is this moon is Mercury ruled, okay? So Virgo is a sign that's ruled by Mercury. So there's going to be a lot of illumination because full moons are very illuminating, okay? Things that are going to, pieces of evidence that are going to come to us that will really help us, I want to say, kind of fit together the larger puzzle. All right. Virgo is really about logistics and statistics and the way that the gears of a machine work together, if that makes sense. Okay. And so metaphorically, when we conceptualize the world, we have an inner schema, right? An inner organizational pattern in our mind. And to me, that is ruled by Virgo. All right. So something within the way that your inner filing cabinet has been a little disorganized. I think there's some phenomenon in your life that you're not sure how to categorize it. Okay, this is an intuitive message coming in now. And so this Virgo full moon is going to illuminate. It's going to just help give you information that lets you, I think a couple of things are coming in right now, okay? That lets you shift your perspective, okay? It completes the puzzle, if you will, so that you can see the whole picture, right? Like, you know, you get done putting together a puzzle and you're like, oh my God, we're missing a piece. And you know what the picture is, you know what it's going to look like, but you need that last puzzle piece, okay? So the Virgo full moon is helping you find it. It's like, oh, oop, here it is under my shoe, right? Under the chair, whatever. That's what the Virgo full moon is trying to do for you guys. Okay, so you can see that larger picture. Okay, another energy that I'm getting is that Virgo is very, very efficient. And the reason that that happens is because it's so closely synced with nature, with the cycles of nature. Virgo is not going to push too hard to go against the grain because they just know that's a waste of their energy. All right. I actually have my sun, moon, and no, that's a lot. Well, I have my sun, moon, and Mercury in my 6th house, which is Virgo ruled, and then I have Mercury. No, stop saying those words. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to move from an intuitive intellectual space. I have Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars in Virgo as well, okay? And that's a Jupiter-Mars conjunction. So I understand when it comes to the way that I work in the world, I work in a very Virgoan way. All right, it makes sense to me. And it's hard for me to move forward if there's a gear missing, right? The whole rest of the machine can shut down. So this missing puzzle piece is almost like a missing gear that kind of helps the others to get to moving again. And that metaphor transfers to Mercury going direct. All right, because Mercury has been retrograde in Pisces, which is a water sign. We've been all up in our feelings, admit it. I have too, but I've also been in this amazing like psychic flow space that I really like. I was kind of shocked to be pulled back into this Aquarius energy because Mercury went so far retrograde that it's dipping into Aquarius, which is an air sign, from about the 6th to, I'm going to say like the 12th. And to me, that's put me, like, thrust me back into this logical mind space where I really have to look at the reality of all these feelings I've been floating through for the last couple of weeks, okay? So, Mercury will, once again, once it goes direct, it's going to enter Pisces again. And, I didn't even look at the dates. I'm going to pause real quick, you guys. Okay, so Mercury's going back into Pisces, and it's going to run the whole gamut of Pisces all over again. All right. While it's there, the sun is going to be moving into Aries, but it's still, Neptune's going to be hanging around. Okay. So Neptune is about the 18th degree of Pisces, and Mercury is going to meet up with it in very early April. Okay, so on April 3rd. And so we're going to get some of this Mercury Pisces energy yet to come. We still have a lot of this, but this short window where Mercury is in Aquarius, y'all, this is the time to organize your files, to get your filing cabinet in order with this new information, because we're about to go back underwater again. That's realness, okay? Like I said, I got all that Virgo. My moon is in Gemini. I am a Mercury dominant, and I'm not afraid to say so, okay? That's actually like, yeah, I mean, people don't love Mercury dominance because we're kind of like always pointing out the truth to them. I'm kind of kidding, but kind of not. And then, of course, my second most dominant planet is Jupiter. So there's this joke about like, you know, when you know why people don't like you, but you really don't care. Yeah, that's me. I love you guys. All right. So anyways, this Mercury-Neptune dance is going to be some fun energy, but that is really the most of the water energy that we're going to be going through in the upcoming weeks, okay? Because we have a lot of Mars energy. A lot of Mars stuff is going to be happening in Capricorn. We got a lot of Venus stuff happening in Taurus. Those are both earth signs. Okay. And then this Aries energy, you guys, is not at all. This Aries energy is actually more intense than I thought it was going to be once I printed out the chart, okay? The sun is moving into Aries right at the time when Mars is about to do this great big triple high five conjunction style to Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn. Okay, so Mars is going to meet up with Jupiter on the 20th of March, with Pluto on the 23rd. And mind you, I'm going to talk about Neptune and Venus hanging out. Neptune is Venus evolved, okay? So Mars, or Pluto, is actually Mars evolved energy, okay? In fact, these outer planets are highly masculine energies, okay? Uranus is another gender neutral, okay? But actually Uranus is hanging out with Venus in Taurus, okay? I digress. Just right when the sun enters Aries on March 19th, okay, we're going to have a conjunction between Mars and Jupiter in another cardinal sign. All right, so this is going to be a very, very powerful energy because Aries and Mars are both cardinal signs, okay? So it's going to be with Jupiter on the 20th, Pluto on the 23rd, and Saturn on the 31st, all right? So I talked in my new moon in Pisces AstroForecast about how Venus was actually going through a square with those three planets in late February, early March, and we'll be going through a trine with those planets in late March, early April. All right, so that energy right there. When it comes to soulmate unions right now, and then even, like I said, the divine masculine and feminine are within ourselves as well, okay? This is a time when each of those planets is on its own path and discovering some really big things about themselves, okay? So what I've seen as a message for soulmate connections that's been coming out in my readings is that this is not the best time for reunion because those two people are each on their own path. And I feel like that's also going on within us. Okay, like you're understanding things. If you're a feminine, you may be getting to know your divine masculine in a new way for the first time, or maybe this is a perfect time to learn how to do that. And if you're a masculine, you may be doing the same with your inner feminine. Okay. It's just highly recommended at this time because in addition to that really strong Mars energy, let's go ahead and move back into Aries and talk about what's happening there. The sun is going to be in Aries on the 19th, and within the first, really for the first week or so that it's in Aries, it's going to be illuminating or lighting up this conjunction between the asteroid Chiron and the, it's just astrological reference point, the dark moon Lilith, okay? Chiron is the wounded healer, okay? So think about, like, you've been on your path, you've been through the hard stuff, you've healed yourself, and now when you come in contact with somebody else, there's this part of you that can heal them as well, all right? That's coming into contact with Lilith, which is essentially the dark side of the feminine, the shadow side of the feminine. It can be anger, it can be lust. For men, it's actually a fear or like any unhealed wounds that were inflicted by the feminine, either the divine feminine in their life, like with partners or friends or mother energies, or even within, okay? This is a time when on the collective level, and I feel this, I have been feeling this, okay? On the collective and in the personal level for a lot of people, we're experiencing a time when the divine feminine is pissed. All y'all got to do is open your eyes and go out there and be around women to understand that, okay? The divine feminine is pissed because the divine feminine has been hurt. Oh my God, they're giving me, this recently came up in my Facebook news feed. Somebody said, oh, this is my favorite Ruth Bader Ginsburg quote. She says, I ask no favor for my sex. all I ask of our brethren is that they take their feet off of our necks. That is the energy. You guys, for some of y'all, your blood just got a little cold. Okay. And that's me too. Okay. That's the energy that's going on in a very masculine sign of Aries. Okay. So that conjunction is at the 4th degree of Aries, and the sun is going to be hitting that up probably around the 23rd. Okay. 24th, which is right when we have also, guess what? A new moon in Aries. Okay. So the sun, the moon, the dark moon, Lilith, and then Chiron, the wounded healer. Ooh, they're going to be having a big old hoedown in Aries. And that's just going to be a very, I don't know how to say it, a very tender energy. Hold on just one second. I got to figure out which node. Oh, snap. Yeah, and this is actually, you guys, it's going to be in a square, no, in a trine to the south node in Capricorn. All right, so this is, again, wounds are going to be triggered. All right. I'll talk about that more when I do my new moon in Aries astro forecast, because that's still kind of down the road. But leading up to that point, what we've got is Mars, kind of this Mars energy getting boosted by these outer planets, while at the same time, Venus has moved into Taurus. It moved into Taurus on March 4th. And that is a sign that it rules. So it feels very much at home. It also has met up with Uranus, okay? Uranus is the energy that really likes to break out of restrictive or oppressive situations, okay? Uranus is the energy that's going to get us to fucking get our brethren's foot off of our necks. You get Venus and Uranus together in Taurus, that's revolution energy, okay? That's major feminist revolution energy, okay? You know, this is an intuitive thing that's coming in, and I'm so grateful to hear this, is I feel like on the universal level, you guys, some of you may not know that this is a thing within feminism, that how you define who you're defending when you talk about defending women's rights is very, very, very important, okay? Some people have these restrictions where they're like, oh, well, I'm talking about people who were born women, and those people can suck my pink hat. I don't have a pink hat. I don't want a pink hat. I don't like the pink hats. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. There's a conversation behind that. But nonetheless, okay, prescriptive or exclusive feminism is going to be getting a kick in the butt. All right. I think more and more people are going to understand that they need to broaden their sense of feminism, because what feminism is really about is defending anybody who is forced to interact with society from the role of the feminine. Okay. So I don't care if you were born feminine or if you became feminine. You know what I mean? If you were born a woman or you became a woman, or you are a woman, you let yourself come back to being a woman. Okay. All right. So I'm talking about including transgender women, sex workers, people that society wants to exclude from feminism. Nah, that's not a viable option anymore. Okay. That's like an age of Aquarius energy that's going down with Uranus traveling through Venus right now. Is when we talk about defending women's right, we are talking about all women, not just how you define women, not just how she defined, not just how Deborah or your grandma defines women, okay? Teaching our children to redefine how they define women, okay? Let women identify as women, period, okay? Whew, that was a big energy, okay? So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff is going on. I do want to say Saturn is moving into Aquarius. That's going to be it's like all this earth energy and fire energy going on. That Saturn moving into Aquarius is going to be a wonderful thing. And it is actually going to kind of boost that Uranus energy in Taurus as well. Saturn's going to be in Aquarius when Mars meets up with it on the 31st. Okay. But again, I'll get more into that energy there. Okay. Currently, I also didn't really say this. When we talk about the full moon energy, that means the moon is opposite the sun. That's the astrological term for they're on opposite sides of the zodiac. Okay. Of the wheel. It's also opposing Neptune, because the sun and Neptune are currently in a conjunction as well. And that's going to be lasting for pretty much, I'd say a couple days leading up to the full moon and a couple days beyond the full moon. All right. So that's going to be more like really, really kind of dreamy Pisces energy injected into the situation, but on a larger scale. And by the way, Pisces energy is feminine energy. All right. So we have a lot of very strong masculine energy going on in the skies right now, but we also have a feminine energy that, yes, is still going to be receptive, but you're not going to dump any crap on the divine feminine right now. She's not taking it anymore. Okay. So breaking out of any sort of structures or restrictive situations that are forcing the divine feminine to receive or to bear the burden of anything they don't want, that can be shaken free. Okay. So many, many blessings to all of you guys. If any of you are interested in a peek at your personal astrology, how to read into your own natal chart, definitely hit me up. I always have rates below for tarot, but I think a lot of people don't realize that I can do astrology readings as well. If you want me to do the research ahead of time, like sit and research your chart and then sit down and do a reading based on that, then we are going to have to talk about rates. But if you just want me to do 20 minutes where I cold read your chart, I am more than happy to do that for you. That's going to be $20, just like a $20 tarot reading for 20 minutes. All the information is below. If you have any questions, definitely hit me up. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you enjoyed or this resonated with you, you feel like it's going to be helpful, definitely hit that like button before you go. And I'm going to talk to you guys again when we get to that new moon in Aries. Take care.